welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can maintain your own worm bin in your house.
Yes, today we are gonna teach you how you can maintain a very simple worm bin setup in your home. So we'll start with the unit itself. So this is a sample of a worm bin that we have. It's compact, it's small, it has wheels. Okay, here you can have several of this in a corner of your home.
With this storage unit, it's easy to stack up when you have no storage, and you have your worms in there, and it's all easily removable.
Okay, now the worms, they hate sunlight and heat. Area that is cool and dark.
Unlike plants. Like in our last video, we talked about how urban gardeners usually put their plants in darker areas, so they should be. But with the worms, it's better to put your worms in darker areas.
Okay, now what can you feed your worms? Okay, Kalin, show them what we have here. This is some samples of what you can feed your worms. So let's take 2 fruit and vegetable waste only, okay? No meats here. Although they will eat it, but we will try to make the worms happy and to give them something that they can easily break down. So fruit and vegetable waste, coffee grounds you can even put brown paper if you want, some bits of rice.
We have an eggshell.
Okay, now eggshell, you can put some. Now one thing that you have to avoid are acid fruits and vegetables, like this calamansi, for example.
You can put a little, but try to avoid them.
Yes. Okay, why? Because they're acidic and the worms don't like that. Another thing that you have to be careful of is not to put too much on top. When you feed them, you should not stack them up, okay? Just put a little bit at a time so it will not heat up. If it heats up, the worms can die.
So after several days of having the worms with the paper and the food, this is what it looks like.
Okay, see? Now they're all over the place. They even ate our cardboard. What you see there, that's worm poo. So you just notice those little pellet-looking soil? Okay, that's already vermicast. The misconception of most people is the worms feed on the fruit and vegetable waste. Actually, no. They're actually feeding on the bacteria that grows in the decaying fruit and vegetables. So they have to wait for it to decay first before they start eating it. One way of doing this, one way of feeding them is also to compost fruit and vegetable waste first, and once it's composted already, then you feed the worms. Another way would be to feed them fresh, but remember, only feed them very little bits at a time, maybe ½ an inch. Because if you put more than that, it might heat up, and when it heats up, that can kill your worms. Another tip that will kill your worms, please make sure that you always maintain a certain moisture. When I say certain moisture is when you press it,
there's lots and lots of water.
Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops of water. Now the water that you use to maintain and keep the moisture in the bin is always dechlorinated water. So how do you dechlorinate water, Kalin?
If you watched our last video, we teach you how to dechlorinate water, and it's really easy. All you need to do is set a bucket of water outside and leave it overnight to sit. All of the chlorine will evaporate and you'll have dechlorinated water.
Yeah, that's one way of maintaining moisture. Another way is to just feed them wet fruit and vegetable waste. So because the fruit and vegetables is more than 90% water, it will keep that bin moist. Okay, yeah, here, see? So you just feed them a couple of times a week, wait till it deteriorates, then you put another batch. So I'll show you what happened here. So after a few days, after feeding the worms, look what happens. They've already eaten up the cardboard and it's almost finished. So they're all over the place now, and there they are. Most of our fruits, leaves, and our veggie waste are all gone. The worms have gone through it already and they've eaten it. Okay, so they're very, very happy. So now we can put another layer of fruit and vegetable waste. Okay, now we'll teach you how to harvest the worm poo. So if you notice, all these The worms, they go up, and that's where they give their vermicast. And then they always hide in the dark. So when you harvest them, you just scrape a little bit on top. See, you notice they're all there. Okay, you pile that up on one side. So the worms, they hate light. So what happens is they will leave that spot. So the next day you can already get this and you can use this for your plant.
Right now we're in a very sunny area, but that's just so that we can get a better shot in showing you guys what we're doing. But you should never have your worms in a very sunny area. Just wanted to make sure you know that.
Now, you feed on this side, you harvest on this side. So here is where you feed them. So we have fresh fruits and vegetables and coffee grounds, okay? Yeah, and then
This isn't instant.
so you keep feeding on this side, they eat this, and then you keep harvesting on this side. Now once you finish, once this side is already has very little left, then you shift. So now you will be harvesting from this side, and then you feed on the other side. Okay, this is 5 days after we fed it. You hardly see the fruit and vegetable. I mean, the worms are already all over the place, and they gave us very rich worm poo.
Thanks everybody for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about urban gardening. And if you want to learn more daily things, you can go ahead and follow us on DowntoEarth PH in Instagram. Everything's linked down below. We hope you enjoyed this video.
Yes, thank you very much, and see you on the next video.